right, we're going to do it all over again. It is Monday, everybody. Hope you had a great Easter weekend. Today, we're talking about stricter EPA rules, Blue Oval City rising, and job perks and jobs dwindling.
Everywhere I go, the people really want
job perks and jobs dwindling.
It's just like ups and downs and ups and downs.
the
Roller
best job-
coaster Monday, baby. Roller
What was
coaster
the-
Monday.
What's the best job perk you've ever had in any job anywhere?
I mean, it's hard because, I worked at a pizza shop and basically the rules were make your own food,
Okay. All right. That's a good one.
It was kind of like,
just make it. Don't inconvenience anyone else, but you can have what you want.
it was like the meal is like $15 or $18 if you ask your manager. Everything was basically under 18. So it was like, okay, I want a salad. I want a calzone. I want a pizza. I want some pasta, whatever you want today. That's what you get. So that was great. And and they had these little they were like mini Grater's ice cream, which if you haven't had Grater's ice cream, best ice cream on the planet. You can only find it typically in Cincinnati, but they had these mini things at La Rosa's. It was this big. And it was like $1.80 or something. And you could basically slot that in next to any main meal, get your little ice cream at the end of your little shift. Boom, you were good to go. So,
our whole production team is weighing in with their job perks. Free specialty coffee at a church cafe with a professional barista. Isaac, 50% off at a Lego store. Best job perk ever. Yeah, but he's still got friends at the Lego store, so he probably still gets that one.
What about you? What was your best job perk?
I haven't got
an entrepreneur for 20 years.
Probably, yeah. I got to worry about everything. Probably, I mean, it's got to be the free food.
Yeah,
free food, right? I worked in the restaurant business my entire, high school, and
also let me just say this:
I went to a Phillies game with the Amish people I worked for when I was 14. That was a pretty good job perk.
That's a great perk.
If you imagine a whole section of a stadium, this kid, me, and like 50 Amish folks, it was an experience.
I can see it now. little bitty Paul, no beard.
No beard.
I will say, after having not been in the dealership now for almost 2 years, I will start to argue that the greatest job perk is dropping your car off for its oil change when you get there in the morning and leaving with your car and not having to think about it.
That's a good job.
Now
perk.
It's like a whole rigmarole.
I love that. I love that one. That's a great one. We got a couple things coming up. Obviously, we were on the ground last week, all week in Texas, in dealerships, did the Live Tonight show. It was so much fun. We're gonna talk about it and show a lot more stuff to do, but you can still check it out on YouTube or LinkedIn. YouTube's probably the easiest place to go check it out. And you can go to ASOTube, ASOTU.be, ASOTube, and check out the replay. It's pretty much fun. And we'll be releasing a ton of clips from it as well. Also have things coming up, man. We're only 3 weeks away from the premiere of the television show, which we have yet to name officially. We've been calling it a Soda Digs, but we got to do that. Put that on the to-do list today. We should name the television show. That's going to be in Tampa, at Digital Dealer, and we got a little collab working with Digital Dealer. So if you're a dealer, you're going to Digital Dealer, you might have a little free ticket for you.
There you go. Yeah, everybody come on out. It'll be a whole bunch of fun. We'll have a happy hour, and then we'll do the live premiere, and you'll get to see something, a little show like maybe Otto's not seen before.
This is our cheapest ticketed event ever, too.
Ever.
Yes. So it's like it's pretty much dealers, like going to a movie.
Partners 39. It's like, hey, and you're going to spend that on drinks anyway.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Also, we're gearing up for Reuters event in May. The middle of May, we'll be out in Las Vegas with our friends at Reuters, moderating some panels, having a little podcast, a joint collab podcast with Reuters. So got things, and then a SoduCon, and then things. All right, we got to talk about some news at some point today.
Let's get to it.
All right, so we are going back to how Henry Ford set up the assembly line. We're doing more of this ourselves. That's what Jim Farley, CEO of Ford, said about his company's new Blue Oval City manufacturing plant in West Tennessee. He's also calling it a, quote, marvel of simplicity. The plant is the first the company has built in 50 years. So all of y'all out there that are under 50, including the two of us jokers here, Ford has not built a plant since we've been alive, and they're building one now.
Can you imagine? That is unbelievable.
No kidding.
Retooling that those plants have had to go through over the last 50 years to get like on new technology. That's a like wow stat.
I know.
Hashtag
But you got to think it's got to be so much easier to start from the beginning. I mean, I say that, and there's billions of dollars, but I mean, retooling is always harder than starting from scratch when it's like this far forward. So the plant is scheduled to open in 2025 and to produce 500,000 vehicles annually in a space that is 30% smaller than what it takes to produce 500,000 vehicles now.
Yeah. Which makes, I mean,
it better
if
be.
The last time you did this was 50 years ago, you think you'd have a little bit of learning, right?
It better be. A couple other neat little integrations going on. Ford and their battery partner SK Innovation are going to operate a battery plant right at Blue Oval City, building the battery cells and arrays, and assembling all the battery packs. They said they're only going to be no more than 30 minutes away from the assembly floor. So that's cool. It gets assembled less than 30 minutes. It's actually in a vehicle. The site will also be carbon neutral, using geothermal. And get this, it won't use any fresh water.
That's pretty wild.
You think of all those like works. I don't either, because like you go by a plant usually and you see the big smokestack, right? Usually that has a lot to do with the cooling process for something that they're doing in there, generating heat. Yeah. Maybe it's geothermal. Maybe they're sending all the, I don't know how that works, but it seems very progressive.
Impressive nonetheless. Yeah. It's cool. I appreciate it that it's in Tennessee, that there's a little bit of innovation.
You know where it is?
Tennessee. It's basically in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
West Tennessee. There's a I mean, there's a Toyota plant in Jackson, so like, it's not like it's we got plants in Chattanooga, so it's not like the first time Tennessee has seen auto manufacturers hit the ground. There's a lot of great tax incentives, a lot of great reasons for employees to live here because there's no income tax.
And you told me last week when we were driving from dealership to dealership, you're like, yeah, Tennessee's got it figured out. You're like, our budget actually has a surplus. That's a word that hasn't been uttered in New York State.
Yeah, because everybody and their brother wants to come here on vacation for bachelorette parties. So
right. It's that sales tax. Get all that tourist dollars into your economy.
All we need.
Brilliant.
All we need.
Brilliant. It's brilliant. Brilliant. I'm trying to think how we're going to segue from the word brilliant into this next piece, and they just
wow.
To just show get along. Speaking of Monday morning shots.
Segue
time.
We took a risk in the Live Tonight show. We told a Joe Biden joke, and it went over really well.
It went great, naturally.
It did. The band came in. It was good. But you have to go check that out. Sometime this week, though, the Biden administration is expected to propose extensive new limits on vehicle tailpipe emissions, pushing U.S. automakers toward a majority electric vehicle sales future. It will likely cover the model years of 2027 to 2032. And everyone's expecting it to exceed the existing target of having 50% of new car sales be all electric. So we're saying we're going past that by, by the year 2030. Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
The current percentage of EV sales is 6%. So we're going to from 6% to over 50%. So the Alliance for Automotive Innovation, a lobbying group that represents GM, Ford, Toyota, and a bunch of other major car companies, said in a statement they expect the new rules to be released, but also didn't specify any details. They said such a transition will require a seismic shift in the way Americans approach transmission and charging. They cited a McKinsey and Company study that highlighted we still need $35 billion worth of charging infrastructure to accommodate.
I'm like, but all I really want is my potholes fixed, So okay, but let's get to it because if you've read through it, and I've read through it a little bit over the weekend, and every news source is reporting it on morning news this morning. But basically what they're doing is going the target for tailpipe emissions is so aggressive that manufacturers will be forced to create all of these.
You'll never be able to hit it unless a big portion of your lineup are EV.
Exactly. It was interesting. I was actually watching like the local, I was running this morning, watching the local news, and, we ran the story last week, but that Tesla is reducing the prices of their vehicles again. But the commentary from even the newscaster, the anchor, was, he said, I can't even turn on TV, the news, or look online and not see information about a new manufacturer coming into the EV space.
Wow.
And that's, for him to almost be surprised by that. to not be in the auto industry, but to be in news and still be surprised by the volume of the accelerant
Velocity,
of EV news right now is pretty wild. And so that's kind of like the groundwork for this. But I think the backup, and I love the McKinsey study just saying, hey, look, remember, it's not just the sales output that we have to think about. It's the entire infrastructure that we have to build up in a very limited time. And I think that this is also a prime opportunity for more private companies to look at getting into the infrastructure and charging game. And I think we're going to start to see those spring up quicker and see competitors to your charge points and charging networks that will start to pop up on the grid a little bit faster. And we might even see some large like oil companies like BP and things like that really push their boundaries and play a part in the infrastructure if this is the way that things are going to go.
There are a bunch of new 7-Elevens going in my area. I don't know. They bought a bunch of Sunoco stations, and I'm looking really closely. I'm like, are they going to have charging ports? Are they going to have charging ports? I mean, we did cover a story last week about Walmart pushing a major initiative to make all Walmart locations a significant source of EV charging. I came across this morning. So Sam Walton, founder of Walmart, apparently woke up from like a feverish dream at one point in his life and said, I had a vision where basically robots will put items in our customers' cars while we fill them with electricity.
Yep.
I was like,
isn't that nuts?
That is crazy. You saw that too, I guess.
Yeah. Well, no, we ran it last week in
I don't remember.
email. You missed it. You didn't even read it.
Maybe that's where I saw it.
Chris and Christy ran that
down. That's probably where I saw it.
That's
probably where I saw it then. Oh, good. Well, I inadvertently given Chris and Christy props for putting an awesome thing in there that did stick in my brain. But yeah, I mean, driving behaviors, who the heck knows, man?
Who the heck knows?
But it's just, hey, that's what's going on Monday. So we'll see. And the EPA rules will come out, and maybe some down the line, someone will change them, and
who knows?
And here we go. Here we go. Speaking of who knows,
who knows?
Segue
time.
Talk about
chops up, Kyle. Chops down, chops up, chops sideways, chops next ways. Yeah,
perks up, perks down. Who knows?
Hey, as the tech industry faces unprecedented job losses almost seemingly every day, Silicon Valley veterans are forced to reset their careers, opting for stability over status. Positions at giants like Meta and Amazon are giving way to roles at smaller firms, tech jobs at non-tech companies, and freelance consultings. I think we're seeing this even in auto. We're starting to see a lot of these people get picked up from large tech into smaller tech or tech jobs at non-tech companies, which I think is the really big look here. Chris Wright's a partner with Riviera Partners, an executive search firm that places some of these this leadership talent, said the majority of folks that have been laid off from big companies, they've been disillusioned. Interesting, like just an interesting insight from someone that's dealing with these people and like where they're headed or where they want to go every single
just a year ago, if you think about it, just a year ago, it was like the holy grail. I mean, and like less than a year ago, 6 months ago, and then like for years in front of that, like the big goal was like, can I get hired by Google or Meta or Amazon? And if you do that, and if you're good at what you do, like you're set. Right. Yeah. You get the whole lifestyle, you get the whole perks. You get all of that. And like in this article, if you drill in and read a little bit deeper, they talk about like people who are really great at their job. Like we're not talking about like the people who
they didn't just like
pretended to work. Right.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
These are real people. And so disillusioned is the right word, I think.
Yeah, it's tough. Just on the job openings, the reports on Friday, which was interesting also that the stock markets were closed when the job reports came out. We'll be interested to see what happens in the markets today. But they fell to 9.93 million, the first sub 10 million total in nearly 10 years, meaning job openings are waning and there are not as many out there on the old internet. Other signs of cutbacks on costs are being reported as companies like Google pare back on work from home equipment.
You know the perks.
They're getting rid of the free meals. They're eliminating perks like in-office massages, laundry services. There comes the perks, free meals, killing people.
Can you imagine working in a place where you go in, eat for free, get a massage, have your laundry done? Right.
I mean,
feel like
the laundry, I understand.
Feel like a lot of people moving back in with mom and dad after this one. I just feel like
home.
Like, oh, I got to do these things again. I mean, look, this is like when people, it's the same as when people complain about having to pay too many taxes. Right? I'm in the top tax bracket, right? No one ever feels bad for that person. Oh, must be nice, right? Oh, you don't have your free laundry. So it's one of those things, but it does indicate a right sizing, I think, of what the value of the work actually is. And with all the talk about AI, and like in the article also, it cites about, like, hey, a lot of the stuff we're going to have a machine do, right? Machines don't need the massage.
Well, you want to hear something, Paul? You want to know something?
Yep.
I happen to know an industry that has a lot of job openings.
I know.
And they got perks like oil changes, discounts on cars, really nice car washes, fancy computers, great technology,
layoffs, perks like no layoffs.
They got those kind of perks, people. They got those kind of perks. This industry we are
in. It happens to be an industry that highly values a technical skill set more than ever before. You've often been an advocate of having a technologist on staff.
Absolutely.
And people that understand tech and the way it works together. And that's not just
and the way that operations. It's evolving right now at rapid speeds and understanding all of the new tech in the space. This is a prime opportunity to go find one of these technologists from one of these big tech companies, or put them right in.
Get them on over, because look, there is a place for you here. We said it at the Live Tonight show, and we mean every word of it. But that's all the place we have on a Monday, because you have work to do. We have work to do. We got to go get those technologists. We got to make customers happy. We got to serve them. And here's what we're not going to worry about. We're not going to worry about layoffs in this industry.
Let's go.